How we doing, guys? How we feeling? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This one's called the Dynamite. Boom.
I'm a dangerous man with some money.
That's what I'm talking about. There's Mark, my rock. My rock. Always there. Always count on. Yeah.
Why you mad? Fix your face.
We feeling good? We shaking it a little? We moving around? Remember she said 2 minutes every hour. Are you moving? Always moving. Hey, hey. All right. Okay, so, how we feeling? We feeling good? Say, Vaughn, I'm here. Oh, that was weak. Vaughn, I'm here. Nice. Take a look at the person beside you and say, I am glad you are here. Nice. Woo. So how were those speakers, huh? It's interesting. Every time I see people get up and speak, man, there's always something. There's always something I could pull away from it. There's a couple times over there, I ran over to my notes just to scribble stuff down because so many nuggets, right, of like wisdom, life experience. Like there's so many things. How many people resonated with some of the stories we heard, right? Like it's just an amazing job, guys. And I think that's what's so awesome. Doesn't matter what level you think you are. When you come up here and you start sharing a little bit of yourself and your story, somebody needs to hear it. And it's, and somebody connects with that message every time that you get up and speak. And I think for me, because I used to get nervous a lot. Like, I still get nervous, but like almost crippling nervous. And I used to realize, what helped me is someone said, your gift or your talent to get up and speak, it's not just about you anymore. It's a responsibility. Right? And that helped me kind of get over myself and say, no, people need to hear. And I think that's an important thing as speakers that we remember. It's a responsibility, is that we have a powerful message to share, and it's not about you anymore. It's your responsibility to share and get better and grow. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, so what we're going to do is we are, to finish off the day, we're going to have the amazing Jackie come up, drop some more truth bombs and knowledge, and ready to blow your mind, ready to finish off the day. Oh, what was that?
Didn't we have one more? Oh, yeah, we have one more speaker who signed up for the coaching instead of the speaking spot. So we're going to grab that.
We have a latecomer. Okay, awesome. Oh, no worries.
And then we're going to finish up a little bit because there was material that I wanted to cover today. So I'll give you that so that you can be really prepared for tomorrow. Then I'm going to give you some instructions about the murder mystery.
Bum, bum, bum. All right, cool. So we're going to have one more speaker come up. And then one thing I also wanted to mention, too, is that I hope you were doing that, too, like how I was taking notes on hearing some of the things. When you see someone up here, you start to use your eyes to see, what did I really like about that speaker? How can I incorporate what they did into my speech, right? Not to become them, but if you liked something or you connected with the way they did something, how you take a mental note and a physical note on how you could apply that kind of, or the way that they stopped and connected with the audience, right? Things like that, right?
That's so good. What Vaughn's saying is so important, and you can write this down. There's a book that talks about exactly what he's talking about, and it's called Steal Like an Artist. I don't remember the author's name, but it's so fabulous. Steal like an artist.
Yeah, that's what we should do. Be stealing shamelessly from each other, right? Right? But in a good way, right? Yeah. Like, I love the way they paused and they really connected with the audience. It made me realize how important it is to pause and connect.
Steal from one person, it's plagiarism. You steal from two or more, it's research.
Well done. All right.
Love it.
So we've got one last speaker for the day. And I'm sorry, what was her name? Pat. There you go. So let's give a warm speakers retreat welcome to Miss Pat. Come on down.
Pat Iyer, intermediate. You open up your phone and you look at it and you've gotten 200 emails overnight. Has this happened to anybody? And you say, how am I ever going to get through this? And who's going to look at all these? And you start hitting delete, 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 delete. You know that in order to get speaking gigs, you have to send out emails in order to get work. So you say, what can I do to make sure that my email is not going to be the one that is deleted? Would you like to know the answer to that question? Only 15 to 20% of all emails get opened. So number one, you have to look at who are your A-level prospects. Who are the people who are likely to hire you? Your A-level prospects are the people who have money, they have an immediate need, and they want you. In order to identify those, you've got to do some research. Who's going to be hiring you? Who has that need? So first of all, make sure that you're directing the email to the right person. Do some research. Make sure that that person is still in the position and you know the title of the person who's hiring speakers. Have you ever said something and as the words are leaving your mouth, you want to shove them back? I spent 28 years working with medical malpractice and personal injury attorneys, and early in my business, I decided to do some cold calling. I found a law firm, a defense firm in my area. The name of the firm was Feuerstein, Maitland, Sachs, and Fleming. I picked up the phone. I said to the receptionist, I'd like to speak to Mr. Feuerstein. She said, he died 10 years ago. I said, I guess he's not taking phone calls right now. They later did hire me. Luckily, that receptionist didn't pass on the word about this bird-brained person who called asking for a dead person. One of the things that you need to keep in mind in writing emails is to make sure that you have a catchy subject line that's going to get attention, that you don't have more than 3 links in an email, and that you keep it short. 100 to 150 words is enough. End the email with a question. You can also use nested loops, where you start a story and then continue the story at the bottom. So here's an example of a nested loop. The first time I exhibited, I was very nervous. I picked a card of a man who was the name partner in a law firm with offices in 3 cities. When I called to make my appointment, he said to me, "You'll have to speak louder. I'm in my private helicopter." I almost hung up. I was so nervous. But I persisted. I went to his office. I met him. He started giving me work. 2 years later, I said to him, I've seen your Porsche, I've seen your BMW, I haven't seen your helicopter. He said, helicopter? I said, when I called you for the appointment, you said it was so noisy that you couldn't talk to me. And he said to me, I must have been in the men's room under a fan. So don't ever give up. Don't let your self-doubt talk you out of getting work. And if you want more tips on writing, contact me and get my free booklet on how to write a book at editingmybook.com.
Woohoo! Perfect. Okay, so have you ever been at a speaking opportunity where you get on stage, you give a great presentation, you feel really good about this, you walk out the door, and people start to approach you going, wow, that was really amazing, you did a really great job. Happened? And then they said this, how can I work with you? And you're like, I'll get you some information, and I'll contact you, and I'll let you know. Has that ever happened? Yeah, I mean, it happens to people, and the reason why that happens is, do you know why? Yeah, do it. Yeah, grab it. Why does that happen?
It happens because when we get on the stage, that is part 1. We're not prepared for part 2, which is making the appointment, getting the contact, and part 3, following through, and so on and so on. So don't get on the stage, my opinion, don't get on the stage unless you're ready to be able to serve what you just talked about on that stage. Pretty
awesome. That's very true. I love that. Give her a round of applause. She said the key word she said was, you're not prepared to do all of that other stuff. You're not prepared to do that stuff if you are not, hey, lunch break, don't you love that picture? If you do not have a correct revenue ascension model, AKA a variety of different offers. This is the second pillar of building a successful speaking business. If you don't have this, you definitely won't be prepared to set up appointments and to do your follow-up and to do everything else that needs to happen. So thank you, Kat. I love that. So you have to be able to step on a stage and maximize the opportunity. And you do that by having something to offer. Now, not all offers are created equally, right? If you have 5 minutes on stage, or 3 minutes, let's go 3 minutes because we're all familiar with what that feels like right now. Are you going to get up here and are you going to rest your laurels on pitching something for $15,000? Well, I like sure why not, because I love that as a life philosophy. See what happens? But yeah, you know what? You probably won't want to do that because it's probably not going to be effective. Now, there are situations, every time you're pitching an offer, you're looking at variables. How qualified are the people in the room? Do they know me? Have they purchased anything from me before? Are they the right demographic? Is it the right message for the right ears? There's a lot of variables, and one thing speakers don't do is they don't match their offers with their opportunities. That's one thing. Another thing, excuse me, would be that they don't have a proper offer funnel. They don't have a catalog of things that they can put people in at a variety of different stages, right? So not everybody in the universe is right for a big program. Not everybody is a beginner. Not everyone is intermediate. Not everyone is advanced. So everybody has unique needs. And you figuring out what your core message is, dissecting that backwards and figuring out how you're going to get people to that big transformation does require a series of steps that you put them through. That's your offers. An offer is your free things, your ebooks, your lead magnets. It's your mid-level products. It's your larger things. Everything needs to function together so that you can take them on that journey of transformation. What happens here, and I want to sidetrack because I brought this up last night in the mastermind. I do these things called cash injections. And cash injections are a little bit different than, building your speaking business because sometimes you just need some money. But we operate in our business, in our speaking business, by trying to make everything go in the same model as a cash injection process. Cash injection means you find some kind of a hole in the marketplace. You find some kind of low-hanging fruit or need. It's a weird gesture. I'm going to stop that. Thank you, Brian. There's some kind of need. It may or may not be related to your overall transformation. You produce that. You have low investment on getting it out there to the marketplace, and you can produce it quickly. And then you can bring in some revenue so that you can then continue building the foundations of a proper business. It's a cash injection. But what people do is they look for this low-hanging fruit and look for this one and look for this one, and they try to build it. Or they take something and they think this is going to be an easy low-hanging fruit and they overcomplicate it. Like, I need to make 10 videos and I've got to have this amount of PDFs and I need this amount of technology and I need to do all of these things, and they never get that product to marketplace. So you need to know what you don't know, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about offers and a revenue ascension model. Cool? All right. Some of the challenges here too, and I'm going to move this actually out of my slide, but many people don't completely understand the difference between sales and marketing. It is a huge, huge difference. Once you get good at marketing, you best be getting good at sales. You need to know where these things interject. You need to know where they're different. Another thing I see all the time is people don't think they have anything to sell. I was talking to Jim, and we were talking about keynote speakers. Keynote speakers who only want to function as keynotes and get paid gigs are, well, he said, they're fucking idiots, is what he said. Sorry. But the truth of the matter is, they don't think that they have anything other than that fulfillment speech that they're giving. People want to be around you. They're buying you regardless of what it is that you're selling. They want your time, energy. They want what you have. So you If you think you have nothing to sell and you're trying to reach for those low-hanging fruits, then you're obviously barking up the wrong tree. And if you're buying something from somebody who doesn't have what you want, don't buy it from them. Thank you. But it's amazing. It is literally amazing. And this is another reason why people get shystered. You know, you get up on stage, you hear people on stage, they say a whole bunch of amazing theory that maybe they read or heard about, but they haven't done. You got to walk your walk. You have to know exactly what you're talking about and implement that into your business before you have any right to sell it. My opinion. People who go, oh, I'm really great at this, but you know, the shoemaker, the person who doesn't build theirs because we're so busy helping our clients. Well, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You build your business. You walk your walk. You do what you say you're going to do, and then you hire people like that. That's how they're going to hire you. And don't let people pick your brain. So here's just a basic funnel, and I'll walk you through it. I kind of did already. There's something called an attraction magnet, a lead magnet, or an opportunity. There's a difference here. This is the top of your funnel. This is how people get to know you. This is where the introduction, the courtship begins. So it's on a stage. An opportunity is on a stage. They are investing time with you. They're sitting back. They're listening to you. You know, we're starting to get to know each other. Online, it's a lead magnet or an attraction magnet. So you get online and they say, you know what, sure. I'll watch your videos. I'll maybe give you my email address. I'll engage with you a little bit. But it's a very low-risk investment for people to come into your funnel. That's awesome. Soon as they do, maybe there's something, and this is real marketer speak. I probably wouldn't say this anymore, but I'll tell you what a tripwire product is, talking industry speak. This is a low-priced product that people can buy from you. This could be your book. This could be, there's rules of thumb around this stuff. You know, a couple $100, $1 to maybe a couple $100. They've given you something. They've given you some money so that you can give them something in return, which is a little bit of a step towards that big transformation that your core message and core offer affords them. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So now the dance has begun with our clients, right? We attract them through marketing methods, through all of that. We get them into a product where they purchase from us, and they feel more connected to you because you have done what you said you're going to do. Ah. I like that noise. Ah. After that, there's a mid-level product. Maybe they want to invest a little more with you. Maybe they want to spend a little bit more time with you. Maybe that's an event. Maybe that's a couple of sessions. Maybe that's a specific coaching package, but they're investing a bit more. And again, what you're doing is you're delivering and you're nurturing them, doing what you say you're going to do. Then there's high tickets. This is where people start to jump in and they're like, yep, I'm with you. We're going to do this thing. Your coaches, you know what that means. They're in with you whole hog. They're buying your biggest priced offer. You don't necessarily have to have every one of these things in place, but you definitely want to know where your opportunities are, and I'll show you on the next slide because it's pretty good. I want to talk a little bit about the referral part at the bottom, because here's what happens. People will go up to you and they'll say, hey, you have this network of people. Will you tell them to buy my product? Because that would be really awesome. That would really help me out. But there's no value there. They're not really engaging properly as a proper partnership, as a proper affiliate structure. People do this all the time. No traceability, no tracking, no nothing. But if you do have people who've gone through this funnel, they are your raving fans, they want to be your referral partners, and they skip everything for you, and you don't have to attract people anymore. You're skipping the process. You're shortening your sales cycle. Make sense? It's pretty straightforward. So here's how these things fit together. Your attraction magnet or your opportunity allows you to build lists. Who here worries about building their list? Yeah. You need to be worried about building your list. If you're a speaker, if you're a speaker, coach, author, transformational leader, you need to be building your list, which means you need to have some kind of a database. Does everybody have a database right now? If you don't have a database, that is a place where you can send out information and emails like Pat was talking about to your clients. It's a place where you can get emails given to you. And if you have one, I use Infusionsoft. It's just what I use. I'm not recommending that. I just do. There's all kinds of tools. It's really dependent on your budget, your skill level, your network, and your support. If you have nothing, MailChimp, for the love of all that is good. I don't love that product. I'm not an affiliate. I don't love it. It's free. I like free sometimes. Free is good. If you don't have a place where you're collecting this information and segmenting these people so that you know how to talk to them and where they belong in that funnel, you're doing yourself a huge disservice and you're leaving a ton of money on the table. So that's a huge tip for you if you don't have that. You need to build your list, you need to send them content, and you need to let them see your face. Again, Jim said, hey, I've been watching your videos. I've never met you, but I like your energy. I like that you're the same on video as you are in person. They get to know you because you can send them information. It allows you to get information given to you. If you put out surveys or quizzes and you capture that, you can understand the pain points of your clients, and guess what you can do? You can build better offers. It's amazing. For your tripwire, I told you a little bit about this already. It's really about trust. It's about giving them that pattern of success. When you deliver a nurture, which you are always doing, think about this. If they stop here, if it's just a free thing, if it's a tripwire, I never do anything else with them. If I never see these people again, what am I going to do? Who said? It was Al. I heard this. You're going to provide value. If they never see you again, you're going to give them something of value. Have you received value today? Yes. Yes, if I never see you again, I'm going to go to bed sleeping very, very well tomorrow and tonight and every night thereafter. When you have your mid-level product, if that's all you have, if you're not ready for the high ticket, but you want to make some money and to build your business, that's the gold mine right there. You're developing something between $125, $127 to $1,000. This is a really great place for you to build a business. It's really a great place for you to do that. High ticket, you have way less people in your high ticket. Please, please. Sometimes I encourage people not to do high ticket. I do. I have $10,000, $15,000 programs, but I'm now, because I had to deliver them, and there's people, and everything is always about learning and growing. When I deliver them, I want the right people. Everybody with a credit card is not my client. So basically what I want is I want people who really want to make a difference in the world, who have a message, who want to do the work, who have a beginner's mindset. Everything that we've talked about right here today up until this point is what I'm looking for. If people are, okay, I like this one. What are the 3 most dangerous words in the English language? Yeah, who said that? Yeah. They're the most dangerous words in the English language. There's nuance, there's richness, there's depth, there's practice, there's process, there's words coming out of our mouth, there's evaluating, there's self-contemplation. This is extremely important. So when you're doing something like this, you want to make sure that you're working with the right people. You really do. Referrals, we talked a little bit about that already. That's it? That's all I'm going to say about it? Okay, cool. So let me ask you, I'm drunk again. I'm going to ask you, by the way, we will have a bar tonight. Who here feels really comfortable and really strong with what they offer? Well, yeah, you guys are in my program. They're like, we do, we feel strong. So there's some, I would say this is a hole for you, right? Yeah, this is a hole for most people. It really is. And what I see is when you go through core message clarity, when you go through a process of really digging out what your time is worth, where your energetic bandwidth comes from, and how you're going to make... people tell me this all the time, well, I just do coaching and I have to go through talking to them first and what I need. You guys told me that too when I first met you. We can't really know what our offer is. We can't create a system or a process because it's unique to everybody. It's not true. A system or a process is you figure out, how do I systematize what I'm doing with people? What you do never actually changes. It never actually changes. What you're doing is you're putting some framework and parameters around things so people understand where they are. Phase 1, we're going to assess everything that's wrong with your website, and we're going to look at everything, and we're going to fix that. Step 2, we're going to give you custom action steps to make sure that you can hire the right web guy. Step 3, we're going to do all of this work for you, and et cetera, right? So you know that there's 3 phases, and this is not my program, I'm making this up as I go. There's 3 phases, and so you can grasp that into your head. You have a little bit of a checklist as the consumer. Am I getting what I paid for? Because if you're not giving that to your clients, then they're going to attach a whole bunch of other things that you should be doing for them. Well, I really felt like, as the person who gave you money, that you should be coming to my house and you should be sitting here at this desk and doing this for me, and why aren't you doing that? And you're like, well, I didn't say that. And they're like, well, that's what it felt like when you said, I'm going to do everything for you. You know what I mean? People are not putting any parameters or framework around their coaching or their consulting businesses. I see this all of the time. They think that they can't because everyone's unique. Everyone is unique. Everyone has different problems. What you need to do is you need to figure out the body of your work. You're looking for those patterns. For me, over and over and over and over again, even you guys have seen throughout the year, the pillars have changed. The pillar of community was the pillar of leverage, which is time, which I now know time is something that needs to be incorporated into the entirety of everything. We need to shorten the process within each pillar. Community, I was sitting there going, community, community, community. Why isn't community one of my pillars? That doesn't make any sense, right? Just because you don't have your offers completely dialed in and perfect also doesn't mean that you can't get out there with, Al likes to make fun of me for saying this, but version 1 is better than version none. I know. But you've got to have a version. You've got to have something put together, and then the human beings come into your world, and you see more patterns, and you become better. You become better and better at a coach, as a consultant. It's just what happens. The people are there what give you that information. You want to come up to the mic? I must be getting tired because I'm like, how are you guys feeling? Good. Yeah, good. Okay, good. I just like this good.
Oh, just a quick comment. Version 1 is better than none. The other one that I use with all of my coaching clients, I work with small business owners, is perfect is the enemy of profit.
I like that. Give him a round of applause. It's such a weak applause. You guys must be needing wine. That's what I think.
I won't take it personally.
Give him a round of applause. Woo! We're digging. You know what? We're digging. And this is important too, right? When you're doing an event, this is a marathon. When you're coaching, who's ever done a mastermind? Yep. Masterminds are another thing too, and you guys have witnessed this happen. And I love that you said that Jim came up and said, you really listen, you really actively listen. Coaching, mastermind, consulting, speaking, it's about listening, and it can be very draining. So we dig. We dig in and we reset our buttons so that we can make sure that we serve and support each other. Cool? That's what I'm doing right now by doing this move. So who wants to tell me some challenges that maybe they have while trying to create their offers? Yeah, go for it. Come on up to the mics, you guys. Stephanie.
Mine is actually a product that I'm launching, like a physical product, not a speaking product or coaching product. And because I've never developed that kind of business, all the little naysayers in my head, you don't know how to do that, and you don't know online sales, and which platform, and how do you do it, and doing an online store, and what's the process, and the systems. And so that's kind of the hurdles I put in my own way And then, I think, okay, I've learned a lot of stuff to get to where I am now. So now there's just new stuff to learn. But that's my challenge, is the technical stuff, I guess.
Yeah, but guess what? I love that. That is absolutely legit. Hands down, it's legit. But also, you have a physical product. How do you need to sell it?
Well, and I'm getting conflicting information from people I respect and who have done things like that. Some people say you have to have a Shopify store, some people say Amazon, some people say Infusionsoft store. So it's just kind of a jumble in my head.
You need to have a client who wants that product so they can see the transformation. That's what you need. You don't need anything to make a sale except you telling somebody or showcasing what it is that you offer, and they will then have the choice to buy it. Do you need tools? Do you need all of that stuff? Maybe. Maybe depending on your goals and your strategies, but maybe not. That's what I see all the time. It's one of the pillars called tools, where you can get taken advantage of, halted and paralyzed by shysters or people, well-meaning people giving you advice on products that they have no idea what your overall strategy or goal is. Building a speaking business is building a business. That's it. There's the secret. You use speaking to sell your products. Physical, coaching. Sharon's back there. Wave to Sharon. Sharon is beautiful. She's in my year-long program. She's in Spotlight Elite. She's got a physical product. She's got a building. She uses speaking to sell her wares. There's a lot of different ways that she can approach this. She does events. There's many things that you have to go to events to sell certain things. You have to have tools online and off. That's the opportunity. So all of the stuff that we put into our heads about what we need and what we don't need and what is the best this or that, the how-tos, they will unfold when you start to figure out what is the transformation that your product or service is going to offer people. Are you wanting to serve and lead that tribe? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. However, we will talk about tools.
Okay.
Just to, I mean, I get it, because you know, you want to do certain things, like you want to be on webinars and you want to make an offer. Well, there's a certain level of technology that has to happen. It's not what you have to do. Does that make sense? You're going to hear conflicting things because people are going to say, I love webinars. That's what you should do. By the way, I love webinars. I love webinars. I know that there's some tech involved. I train on this. Ask Barry and Kat. They made sales. It's amazing. You go through the same process. It's the psychology of selling. It's speaking your words. It's having the charisma. It's going through all of the skills that those pillars provide. And then you will then know what tools you're supposed to pick. Go get a Shopify store. Do you have somebody to run it for you? Do you want to invest the time and the learning curve to get that? Do you want to invest the time and energy in doing Infusionsoft? When Infusionsoft, I use it. I'm a supporter of the product. I used it for so long that it was way more difficult when I got that than how it is now. So I had to sit there thinking, I'm mentally challenged. I don't understand how to do this. Why am I doing this? So I spent my entire Christmas vacation learning Infusionsoft. I spent tens of thousands of dollars coming here. That's why I come to Phoenix so much. That's how it started, to go to Infusionsoft conferences to try to figure that stuff out. And when I finally did, that was what I had to invest so that I could do that myself. Because if I wanted to hire somebody, which I had done before that, I got burnt for $10,000 in 6 months of my time. I needed to know what I needed to know before I could buy any tool. That's actually the secret here to your challenge. You need to know what it is that you specifically need before you buy anything. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Cool. Give her a round of applause. I could tangent on that one topic for a really long time, too. But again, I mean, I love it. People get so sucked into the how-tos, but we first got to put the strategy together.
My biggest challenge, and I'm basically through it on the coaching side since I've been coaching for a long time, but now I find myself mired in the exact same challenge as I build the speaking portion of my business. And so I'm going down the same road. So on the coaching side of it, I got that solved, but what it was is people would, I have different levels of service, right? I have A, B, and C levels, so they come in at A level and I give them, you know, what I can give them. Well, B level is just a deeper dive and C is just a deeper dive on that. I was always giving B level service to A level clients or C level service to A level clients, never really knowing where to stop. And I see myself going down that same rabbit hole in speaking where I want to tell them everything, right? I want to share everything, not just one little piece of it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's part of the people pleaser rehab. Let me know when you do that because I would definitely be at that conference.
Oh, I love that. But that's such a really important thing that he has said right here. So when you are not clear of the overall transformation, your mission, everything that you want to do, and you start trying to build offers, and maybe they're the low-hanging fruit, or maybe they are in alignment with what you want to do, and you're like, well, I'm going to start making this mid-level product. But you're actually building out a high ticket, and you have nowhere to go. Oh my God, I mean, that particular thing I've done over and over again. Figure out every step that you need to take somebody through to get them to where they need to be. If you say, so you do coaching, what kind of coaching?
Small businesses.
Small business, and what is the end result for them?
$1 million in revenue.
Okay, so $1 million in revenue. So perfect. So here's what he's saying. I'm going to take you to $1 million in revenue. So what are the steps that they have to take to get there, right?
Right.
And you deconstruct those, and now you have a system.
Yeah, and like I said, I wasn't expecting necessarily a specific answer, just saying that I understand I'm falling into the same trap
Yeah.
with speaking as I did with coaching. Because at least,
Oh,
because I
yeah.
got that figured out on the coaching side of it. That was
Totally.
a long process, but I finally figured that out.
But it's so important. I'm not trying to give you advice. I want to
No,
give
it's
it for everybody else here, because here's the thing. So if I cannot take them to $1 million, that's the only product I have, can I say, well, maybe you're in my 0 to 50 program?
Which is my first program.
Here's this one right here in the offer, right? Now they've made that money so they can give you more and they can move down the line. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
But that's what a lot of people do wrong. They give them the $1 million package for
Right.
$17.
Cool.
Bearing cat. Whoop.
Thank you.
Just kidding. No, round of applause, please. It's not a bad thing. I only called you out because who said it? Heart-centered people in this room, who said that? Yeah, there's a ton of heart-centered people in this room who want to give and want to give and want to give. Do it. I mean, give them everything. Leave everything on the table when you have an event, when you meet people, but know what the process is, because if you give $1 million program to somebody and they've paid you $17, they will never make $1 million. It just won't work.
Hi, I think probably one of the challenges that I face in the business period is because I have talents in a lot of different areas. I spend dollar time on penny tasks. And I'm great at making a video, so I'll do it, instead of passing that along to someone else. And I don't want to pass it along to somebody else because I want it to be my way. And what I'm trying to learn to do is to be able to delegate it enough, make sure that somebody knows what my vision is, and I just have to believe in that process and let it go, even if it's not perfect, because if it's not perfect, perhaps I'm missing some profit. But
Brilliant. I need to have somebody who knows what my vision is. Is that somebody's you?
Well, I know what it is.
Can
I
you
wanna be able
articulate that to people?
Yes, but I still have a challenge, and that's a personal thing, with letting it go.
Okay.
To make sure that how well do you really know my vision? It's that kind of thing, and so that's a personal thing. But I have found when I've spoken with other people that they too sometimes go through some of that. So in case that is anybody else, perhaps it
I
will
want to stop
help
you.
Okay.
I really do, and I want to say this with total love and compassion, so don't take this wrong, but that's a story.
Oh, I know.
You don't have trouble letting it go. Nobody has trouble letting anything go if they feel confident that that person is going to be able to do what they want them to do. So either you don't know what you're looking for in a person to execute that goal, or you're not as clear on your vision, or you're not articulating it as well as that you think you are. No judgment there. That is actually an observation, and take it from somebody who's hired very, very poorly when I really believed that the vision was being picked up. This is just a personal development thing. I see you're going to doubt me. Let's go.
No, it's not that. You have your perspective, and certainly I have mine.
No, but
And
I
what
would like to hear yours.
What I will say is, to that is, part of letting it go is more than just being able to let it go. Sometimes it may have to do with resources. What if
that's
I don't have the
brilliant.
money to pass out for people to do this or that or the other? So it could be a lot more than one thing that brings a person to that place. But in terms of my vision, I do believe that I am able to articulate it well enough to somebody else. However, in their interpretation of it, when it's all said and done, I may want it a little differently. And I need to be able to not worry so much about that, because that may not be the biggest thing, is what I'm saying.
But
thank you for what you
no,
shared.
No. I like it, and I think that I think you're saying something so valuable. I think what people have to hear here, I think we need to explore a bit more. Resources. I can't hire, I have to do it myself because of resources.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a thing. You want something done and you have to hire for it, but you don't have the money to do it and you don't have the resources.
Or if I can do it, why hire somebody?
Yes, absolutely. And I believe that if it's something that you can do well and that you do correctly, I don't actually hire somebody to do, well, I do. I shouldn't say that. I'm not even going to say that. I never used to, and I'm not going to say that because it's not true. And that person who I'm hired is right here in the room. But do you have a lack of creativity?
Absolutely not.
That's a resource. There's nothing that can't be solved with creativity. So there's no such thing as not being able to get the right person for the right job if you have an abundance of creativity. There's a creative solution to every single problem out there.
I agree.
And it is not a resource problem for you. It's not a messaging problem for you. It's just you don't want to for some reason. There's some fear inside of you that's refusing for you to let things go.
I'll dwell on that a moment. Thank you.
I mean that for all of us, by the way. I do. I mean that for every single one of us. Oh, I love it when there's a rub. I love it when something's bugging me inside and I think and I've looked at everything here and I love that she said that I'm dwelling on it because in the middle of the night, you're going to wake up and you're going to have some super cool creative solution. Maybe not tomorrow. I hope you do. If you do, please share. But this is how this works for us. If you have a problem, this is my process. I get mad, I can't do it, I think about it, I think about it, I think about it, I mentally think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. Go exercise, do something fun, listen to music, be creative, engage in things outside of my comfort zone, revisit my passions, engage with my networks. Oh, there's a solution to that thing that had absolutely no solution before. I just want to point that out because I really don't want anybody in this room to ever put unnecessary blocks in their way that they absolutely don't have to. Want to know why my company is called Pure Potentials? Yes. Yay! Thank you! I actually was in transition. I was doing the theater work, and I decided that I no longer wanted to do that. So I started taking yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, like you saw, and I thought, maybe I'm going to give this theater business stuff up, and instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to do maybe wellness presentations in corporate, since I already have the connections, since I've already been doing corporate entertainment for so long. So I thought I would do that, and I came back to Calgary after going to California every couple months for 2 years, getting all these certifications, went back, did some wellness events in corporations, but didn't really want to let go of the theater stuff. So I thought, well, maybe I won't let that go completely. Maybe instead what I'll do is I'll raise my prices obnoxiously. And so I raised my prices obnoxiously, and I got these super cool gigs. I was like doing work for the Stampede Board and all of these things and being paid a lot of money in the arts, and I thought, wow, that's crazy. What a lesson I just learned that I could actually make this kind of money. Like, I was doing $10,000 contracts for one day work where I could hire like 20 actors. It was awesome, like seriously awesome. But eventually, I really did want to let that stuff go, so I had to make the decision that I was going to do this. In the meantime, doing wellness presentations in corporate didn't serve my soul because I realized that I was, in fact, a producer and a performer. And improv was something that I really valued, so I wanted other people. So I started down this journey where I made networking groups and trade shows and got sponsors and did all of these things. But while I was in that transition, I remember Deepak talking about the field of pure potentiality, which is where everything is possible, and all we have to do is see where that thing is, pull it out, and look at it, and see what it looks like on this plane. Sometimes it looks like what's in our head, sometimes it doesn't. And while I was going through that transition and moving my company around, I heard of a company called Peak Potentials. Who's heard of it? It's a seminar company. And I was like, it sounds like the same thing, and I don't like that. It sounds too close. But when I went back and I remembered why I originally made my company name Pure Potentials, I fell back in love with it. Because literally there's nothing stopping anybody in this room from achieving any goal that they have. The only thing that's going to stop you is you. It's a lack of clarity, it's a lack of conviction, and it's a lack of focus. Maybe, and I've seen people walk out of speakers retreats going, I actually don't want to be a speaker. I actually don't want to be in the seminar industry. I don't want to do this. And that is awesome, and I have given high value when that happens. And sometimes people walk out of the room and they go, Jackie McClanagan's full of shit. And then later on they come back and they say, I was so mad at you and this happened, but it made me look at something else differently. I've had coaches where I was so incredibly ticked off at them, but when I feel the rub, or when I feel, I don't think there was a big rub for you, by the way, I don't think that, I just want to point this out. When there's something that's like this thorn inside of you, if you hear it on stage, if you hear it at the networking event, if something's bugging you, that's about you, and that's something that you can figure out. I mean, maybe the person's a dick, like that could happen too. I like saying that, a dick. It's late. Is my mom in the room? Maybe they are, but still, why are you responding in that way, right? Anyway, so I wanted to just get through offers and get to this part of the program. I know it's been a long day and we're tired and we have murder mysteries and we want to get excited. So I want to tell you why we're doing a murder mystery. Does anybody know? Because we can, that's right. I love that. Because we're going to take ourselves out of our comfort zone tonight, even just a little bit. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give you a list of questions, and for the next 2 hours, you're going to think about them. You're going to come back, and you are no longer going to be yourselves. You're going to be transformed, and you're going to meet some interesting characters. What you're going to do, and I'll tell you how you're going to develop this character in a minute, but I recommend trying things that are definitely outside of your comfort zone. What would you say are 3 of your best qualities? Yeah, let's grab up on a mic. I just totally. You, get up on the mic. What are 3 of your best qualities right now?
That I'm not afraid to talk to anyone.
Nice.
That I can pretty much sell anyone anything.
Nice.
And I love being a mom. Like, that's like awesome.
Okay.
And I do that well.
I love it. Stay right there. So please write this down. What, as you, the person you're sitting right here, what are 3 of your best qualities? I want you to just kind of think about that over the break a little bit. What are 3 of your best qualities? Now, what are 3 of your worst qualities?
I tend to undervalue myself.
Okay.
And I am really good at like starting stuff, but sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, next. Like I like to start stuff more than I like to, I don't know. And I'm way too hard on myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, amazing. Give her a round of applause. Have a seat. I want you guys to do exactly, by the way, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I totally just picked on you. I want you to think about 3 of what you think are your worst qualities. Because personally, I don't think those are all bad things at all. I think starting things and being able to start and ignite an idea and pass it on is a great gift. I do think being hard on yourself is not awesome, but there's some, if you can take the emotion away from that and you can objectively look at yourself, there's so much room for growth. Our worst qualities are not really our worst qualities, but I want you to think about it. Take a little bit over dinner and think about this. I should have asked you this one too, and you can just shout it out. If you could, for one day, be anybody you wanted to, somebody you know, living, famous, dead, your mom, your dog, whatever you want to be, who or what would that be? Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters. Now, this is an interesting thing, too, so write that down. Who would you be for one day if you could be them? And then why? Like, what are the qualities that you admire in these people, and why? And if you woke up one day and you were Donald Trump, how would you feel? I'm not going to say anything political. But who is somebody, for me, I would not want to be Donald Trump. If I woke up and I was him, I'd be like, ah, and then I'd fix my hair, and I'd get a haircut. But maybe there's somebody that you absolutely loathe or detest. And I want you to think about who that would be, and then think about a quality of them that you would admire. Do you want to hear what I found out about Donald Trump that I admire? I don't know if I admire it. I watch a lot of shows about serial killers and cult leaders because I'm fascinated with how people persuade other people to do things. I wouldn't say that I admire it, but I would say that I might be fascinated with his ability to persuade anybody to do anything. And the way he does that, when I looked at it objectively to try to break this down, is he doesn't play any game that anybody else plays. If I see a tree standing there, and I'll go, that is a tree. And he'll be, that is not a tree. You're like, no, that's a tree. I see it's a tree right here. And everybody gets all up in arms. And it's like, no, that's not a tree. You cannot play that game with somebody, right? But it was a fascinating thing for me to think about, right? And I was like, wow, that's completely interesting. So if you think about those things, all right, I want you to take a time because not only are they amazing personal development for you to think about, but they're also going to help you build a character this evening. So you're going to come up with some type of character that you would love to be. This could be your alter ego. This could be something completely different from you that you'd like to explore. This could be anything. You could be somebody famous. It's your opportunity to step into the shoes of somebody else or some characteristics of somebody else that you would love to explore. Okay, so you're going to come up with a character. You're going to give yourself a name, and you're going to think about what that character's 3 best and worst characteristics are. Okay? I had this murder mystery that I wrote where I played my sister. So the first half of the show, I was a very high status character called Evilla, who could hypnotize people with her eyes alone. And I literally went around the room and could say and do anything I wanted to anybody because Evilla didn't care. She was the queen of everything. I rule everything in the entire world. And I would say like this, you there, look into my eyes. My eyes are up here. You can do anything you want. Anything. You can say and be and feel anything tonight. It's going to be awesome. You're coming here this evening because you are a famous author who has written a book. You're going to tell everybody what that book is called. I did one of these murder mysteries where I actually had some names. I went online and I found some funny book names that were real. One of them was, Irrational Fears of Large Ships. And then one of them was called The Missionary Position, a story of Mother Teresa. Yeah. So you might want to cheat and Google and look up funny book names, or you may want to take a minute to do something like that, but you're going to come back with a title to the book that you are potentially going to win an award as the best author for. And then you're going to have a deep, dark secret that at some point you're going to share with other people, which is really fun. So it's a pet peeve. It could be, again, the opposite, something you want to feel and explore. Maybe it is a pet peeve. I don't have a lot of pet peeves. I don't really believe in them, but there's just one. Do you know that lane where you can go and you don't have to stop and you can just keep going because it merges for a really long time? When people stop there, it really bugs me. Like, why don't you go? I want to go. And you know what I do to be a real jerk? This is what I do to be a real jerk. I have a super fast car. I will drive as obnoxiously fast from one light to the other, and everybody will be looking at me, and I'll sip my coffee and make no eye contact. So think of some fun things, or maybe these weird little ego things that you want to explore. Who said they don't love drama? I don't like drama in real life where you're making up a bunch of stuff so that you can feel emotionally bad or pissed off at somebody. But when you do drama for real, or when you express yourself in creativity, you don't need to do that other stuff. You get that out of your system because we're human beings. Does that make sense? Does it sound fun? And if all else fails, you can get really drunk on the bar. That'll be Not funny? He just said no. Amazing. So you will be doing some more presenting this evening, but as a different character. Like I said, there will be some interesting characters going around, and something tragic might happen. Let's do this. Ooh. Okay. All right, so those are what I'd like you to do over the next couple of hours. Get yourself fed, get yourself ready to go. Before we end right now, I just want to for you guys to take a look around the room and see the lovely sponsors. Everybody wave, yay! And I'd like for them to, this evening before we get going, are you coming back this evening? Okay, before we get going this evening, they're going to break character. They're going to come up and tell you a little bit about themselves. They're going to have a couple minutes. I'm going to release you guys now because I think people need energy to go. Any questions, you can come and talk to me right now. I'd be happy to talk to you. Other than that, we're going to be in this room for 7 p.m., okay?